It was really hard for me to move out to someplace rural like this, and it felt like it was in the middle of nowhere. And that's the part of it that I like most of all now, the solitude, the peacefulness. I like being able to plant my garden in the summertime. Ron is from the community here of Muscadet, so just a natural transition. My name is Angie Bear. I'm a Métis person living in Muscadet First Nation, and I'm a knowledge keeper. My mom never called herself a Métis. She always called herself a half-breed, because that's the term that she grew up knowing. I was like in grade 1 in Edmonton and just feeling like I didn't belong. My Aunt Pearl was there, and she told me to be proud of who I was and to be proud of my brown skin. And I can remember that it helped. And so for me, that was a big shift. My mom and dad split up when I was probably about a year old. And I didn't know I had a different dad until I was in my teenage years. I reconnected with my dad. He was an elder, and we come from a line of medicine people. I always believed in our ceremonies. I always believed in our medicines. But when I saw it firsthand and it touched me, I realized how important it was to pass that knowledge on to the next generation.
I'm Maurice. I use he, they pronouns, and I identify as non-binary. She very much inspires me because she just helps people.
Before I met my husband now, I was married and I was in an abusive relationship, and I ended up in a safe shelter a couple of times, and I realized, oh my God, I'm living in the cycle of violence. That's how I ended up wanting to get into the area of domestic violence, because it just takes the mindset of knowing that you don't deserve to be treated that way and you don't have to live that way. And then I started working with Pine Grove Correctional Center, which is a women's jail just outside of Prince Albert. So I would go in there and I would smudge with the women, and I would bring elders and we would do sweat lodge ceremonies. And I just loved working with the women.
We had things that we laughed about because we worked in serious things. Sometimes we'd go for drives and I'd say, let's run away, because we were feeling sometimes overwhelmed. And then we would talk about how we could work with different people.
My proudest moments have been having a partner that supports me, the birth of my children and my grandchildren, and completing my first Sundance. Having Maurice come and live with me was like the biggest learning curve. I could tell he was going to be two-spirited, and I was already telling him culturally our two-spirited people were a big part of our ceremonies, and they were very highly respected.
She's just supported me throughout my entire life, through everything, telling me what to do when I'm in a tough situation, or just telling me to just listen to myself.
He just expands my mind, and I just want to be like the best ally I can possibly be. He's actually taught me probably more than anybody that I know. He's really open with me. He's very intelligent, and he's coming into his own. Elder Julie suggested that we need to do a ceremony for Maurice. He needs to do a coming of age ceremony. We haven't been teaching those teachings back to our youth. So the best thing I would say to our Indigenous youth is just be the best person that you possibly can be. There's a lot of healing that needs to happen in our communities. I strongly believe in the ceremonies because over the years, I've seen that change people's lives. It's changed my life. It's the thing that's been able to help me do all of the hard work that I've done.